It's finally here. One more weekend of football. Thank God. I'm Tarek Patel.
I wish it was a lot more weeks of football. It's sad that it's the final week. I'm Randy Rosenblum, and this is SoCal Prep Report. We're going to have all the bowl results in a moment, those regional games, and we'll preview the state bowl finals. But I owe an apology, maybe Tarek does as well, to all of our viewers in Ventura County. On this program, all we do is build up all these football teams from Orange County, Mater Dei, Bosco, Santa Margarita. We talk about the teams in the valley, all over the place. And I'm looking at these results, and who's there? Oh, Pacifica. We started to talk about them late in the year. All they are is 15-0 and going to a state final. How about Ventura? We blew them off the whole season. 10 in a row. They're going to a state final. And even Grace came that close to going to a state final. That's three teams, came very close. Two of them got to the state final. Oh, by the way, Ventura and Pacifica, 8 miles apart. Sorry, Ventura County, you play great football. Tarek, your thoughts?
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
You thought there'd be more?
I thought there'd be more. Listen, we had Mike Moon on the Fattel Factor a couple weeks ago on a Monday night, and he was talking about how good Ventura County football is, and he's right. It's really an under-the-radar aspect, and probably not given enough credit for its talent in football and other sports. The problem with Ventura County athletics is there's always which is fun, I guess, is there's always someone else that arises to the top. So Pacifica having won 2 CIF championships in a row and now being in a state final, I think is a little bit more of an anomaly. In Ventura County, it's hard to stay on top. And so kudos to Pacifica for doing that right now. And then Ventura is the new kid on the block.
It's a big block in Ventura County, and they're doing well. All right, let's go over some of these games. We're going to start with this first one. Cathedral Catholic, and we mentioned last week, their team in San Diego, the Dons, that are very good. So them knocking off Los Alamitos 42-21 is not a giant shock.
No.
Los Al had leads in this game, 7-0, 14-7. But Cathedral Catholic and their coach Sean Doyle, very, very good, and they were the better team in the second half.
Yeah, I think, let's not forget, this is the Open Division champion of the San Diego section, and then coming and playing a D2 champion from the Southern section in Los Alamitos. So, in theory, you know, and that's why they hosted the game, right? They're the Open champ. In theory, they were the favorite. Would I have expected a 3-touchdown difference? No, but a great season for Los Al and Coach Ray Fenton.
Brady Palmer's the quarterback. He's on his way to Cal from Los Alamitos. He was dynamic in the third quarter. He hooked up with Isaiah Cook twice in the quarter, 3 times overall. Los Al had no answer for this dynamic combination.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think in high school football, the hardest thing to defend is the pass. It's arguably the hardest thing to defend in football, period. And so when you've got a guy that can put it all over the yard, and Palmer is a Cal commit, so he is a high-level thrower, that's going to be hard to defend. Now, Los Alamitos has seen some great talent, but at this time of the year, it just sometimes, I'll honestly, sometimes you just run out of gas. And I kind of wonder if that's what happened to the Griffins.
Yeah, the only score for the Griffins in the final half was Camden Tillis, a 45-yard touchdown run, but it wasn't good enough. A big win for the Dons. All right, let's move ahead and discuss one of those teams from Ventura County. Pacifica of Oxnard in an incredible finish over Granite Hills, a very fine team, another good school from San Diego. They win this on a block punt in the final minute. Max Magana blocked it. It was picked up by DeVille Warner, and this is the play, 29-yard touchdown that won the game.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. All year long, right, you practice and you just, sometimes your season comes down to one play, and with less than a minute to go, Pacifica calls to go all out for this punt, and they get it. What a scoop and score, and a moment that'll live in lore of this program forever.
Yeah, that's Warner scoring, and again, it was Magana that blocked it in the final minute. This is what Pacifica of Oxnard does. They just come up with blocks. Now, they did this to Narbonne last year. They blocked 3 of the Gauchos punts in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and again, they call it special teams, and there's moments where you can put the game on its head, right? You can flip the game in a 180, and not necessarily the case there, but certainly the game, maybe even more important than a 180 or flipping on its head, is the game-winning play. So kudos to the Tritons, Coach Mike Moon. Hey, man, one more game left to play, the final game of the year. Good luck to them.
15-0 are the Tritons as they move forward. All right, next game is a very good football matchup. It was Bakersfield Christian and La Habra, and I was a little concerned going in for the Highlanders of La Habra because of their youth. I know their quarterback Mitchell is phenomenal, and he was great in this game. But Bakersfield Christian, the program in the middle of California.
Yeah, I think one of the better athletic programs out there in Bakersfield. I'm pretty sure they have good hoops, too.
They do.
Not surprising to me. And, again, sometimes, Randy, and not to sound gushy here, but sometimes at this point of the year, after you've won your section title, you got to dig deep and find something a little extra for these games, right? It's such a long year. You've won your section title. You've won what you've set out to do, right? The goal has been accomplished, and now there's this extra. And so sometimes it's hard to get up for those games.
Bakersfield Christian is still undefeated, by the way. Arnez Lee is their star. Rushed for 2 touchdowns, but he's a great linebacker on defense. Had a key sack. Arnez Lee, the star of that Bakersfield Christian team, as they knock off La Habra. Next up, Tarek's favorite team, Rio Hondo Prep. They continue to move forward, winning over Santa Fe Christian, who, oh, by the way,
love the trio here.
Who's the assistant coach at Santa Fe Christian?
Yeah,
Drew, what's his name?
I don't know if he was ever MVP of the league, but
Drew Brees
is the offensive coordinator for Santa Fe Christian. Yeah. They win a section title. I forgot which division, but down in San Diego.
Right.
So congratulations to them, but they run into the team of destiny. I mean, that's what Rio Hondo Prep is, man.
Let's talk about the running back situation, because Christian Lee scored all the touchdowns for Rio Hondo
Prep. There you go.
Prep.
Yes. Keep going.
He replaced Noah, who was injured.
Noah Peñaneri is their best player. Love the 2 box, by the way. Shout out to Larry Zavala.
Let's give Gio some credit. He chimes in here production-wise.
If one of us might not be, you might not be able to hear us, so that's a Gio problem. But if you can hear both of us, then yes, thank you, Gio. That being said, I think about Rio Hondo Prep, and I say the team of destiny, because this is a system. And Noah Peñaneri is the one that's been rising to the top. He didn't play in the CIF final. They won. He didn't play in the regional final. They won. And so it is a kudos to the system that a backup and the next man up can produce victory and touchdowns. That is awesome.
And that next man up, as we mentioned, was Christian Lee. Congratulations to RHP. Now the other team from Ventura County is the Cougars of Ventura. Another terrific game. They win it 35-28. That's 10 straight wins for the Cougars. They have a quarterback there by the name of Garcia. And he is good. He's on his way to UNLV. And he just makes plays. And late in the game, he was able to make a play and make the difference in this contest. Oh, by the way, I want to bring this up because last year you were talking about Joe and Brady Smigel all season long.
Yep.
The head coach of Ventura is Tim Garcia.
Yeah.
His son is the quarterback.
Derek Garcia.
Mm-hmm. I just mentioned how good Garcia is. Why weren't you talking about Ventura and the Garcias the way you were talking about the Smigels a year ago?
Oh, you got a good point. And you're also, at the top of the show, I talked about how Ventura, it's like there's a different team every year.
Sure.
The team last year for Ventura was Newbury Park. This year it's Pacifica. A little bit of Ventura High School. So kudos to the Cougars and those and Mr. Garcia and Mr. Garcia Jr. What a great story it is. And you're right. I'm going to have to maybe try and get a little love to those guys because what a fantastic season they've had.
Also, they have a player on that team by the name of Jack Cunningham, senior wide receiver. I'm going to read his numbers for you. Maybe we should do a story about him in print. Okay? 126 receptions. Okay? 2,041 yards, 26 touchdowns.
In one game. I'm kidding.
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
I think I actually bloated his figures a little bit, but it's close to what I gave you.
Okay.
So, but, I mean, Jack Cunningham, it sounds like Jack Cunningham, the All-American boy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you've got a star player, It's not surprising, Randy, when, again, this point of the year, you're in a state final. You're going to have a couple special players with some nice stats. How else would you get there? So not surprising to me.
I'm mad about this one. I was upset that I hurt the feelings of everybody in Ventura County by ignoring some of their teams throughout the year. Carson, we had just seen Carson win the city title over Crenshaw. They get Delano, Kennedy High School from that area, but Delano's a small town up north, and you got to think going in Carson's going to win it, but they couldn't defend the wing T. And Carson, who scored 29 points in the first quarter, didn't win the game.
Wow, really? I didn't know that.
Or was it? That may not add it. Maybe it was 27 in the quarter.
Well, still, it sounds like they had a big quarter
They
and
had
then
a
couldn't
huge
sustain
quarter.
I will say from tweets and some coverage, I think Carson may have also dropped the ball, and that's not a pun intended, special teams. I think there was a lot of special teams miscues, and that either gave good field position to Kennedy or turned into scores. So Carson's probably not feeling so good that they let the game, they let that one go.
I did check. It was 27 points
There
in
you
the first
go.
quarter.
There you go.
2 touchdowns running for Chris Fields, the quarterback of the Colts, and he also threw for 2. He's going to be the city player of the year. He's had a magnificent junior year. But that game really disappointed me. I did expect Carson to win.
Do you know what it wasn't 27-0, was it?
I believe it was 27-14.
Yeah, it's a pretty, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, any idea what the halftime score was? I should probably try to know this myself.
yeah, good prep for the show.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I think Kennedy forged ahead at that point by 1. Might have been like 28-27.
Okay.
So, but after that, it was a dogfight.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, 2-score lead with 3 quarters to go. Not exactly, you didn't like give it up, but you'd hope you could do better.
Not happy with
Who was in the game again? No, I'm kidding.
Kennedy
I'm
of
kidding.
Delano. Do you know who their star running back is?
No.
I'm going to have to read this because, phonetically. Jace DeMcCoblin. DeMcCoblin ran for 223 yards.
Ooh, 3 scores.
And 3 touchdowns.
I've also noticed that you twice on this rundown, you've said that you've typed out lose as loose. I think we need to talk about your grammar.
Well, there's no question about that. And the loose defense of Carson. That's what we had there. Now the real team. One everybody loves it, LA 36.
State championship, man.
Beckman, our Patriots are in the championship. All they do is win in a high-scoring game over Hillcrest of Riverside. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's the Patriots.
Super impressive. They've got this running back. Another big game. Zajkowski?
Yeah.
Zajkowski, maybe.
Yeah, Zajkowski. It's Maki.
Maki Zajkowski, 200 yards rushing and a winning touchdown for Beckman. Listen, I'll repeat myself. You got to have key players, important players, big performances to reach the state final. So congratulations to Beckman. I believe won their first ever CIF final a couple weeks ago. So clearly this is their first ever regional final and their first ever berth to the CIF State Championship game. So kudos to them. Nothing like making history.
Beckman and Ventura have one thing in common, probably more than that. They both play great football. They've both now won 10 straight going to state finals. Congratulations again to our beloved Patriots. Next, time to talk about
another city team losing.
Another city team.
Yeah. I think they went 0 for 4.
Yeah, we're going to get to that a little later.
Got it.
47-28. Southgate has had a great offense all year. They gave up 58 the week before when they beat Marquez and in winning the D1 final in city. So you knew their defense was somewhat suspected. So losing here is not a shock, but again, giving up 47 points.
I think we called this, if I'm not mistaken, this game was in Bishop, which is like probably a 5 or 6 hour drive by bus. So very difficult. And I can almost guarantee you Southgate did not go up Thursday, get a hotel for the game Friday or Friday to Saturday, whenever the game was played. It was a same day shtick, man. And then having to drive back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's, You're not going to go up there and win that game. Not in high school. Sorry.
Still a great year for the Rams.
Yes.
Grace, the one team from Ventura County that didn't win, lost to a very good Morse team of San Diego. And it's obvious by looking at these results, there's pretty good football being played in San Diego as well.
Yeah. And not a lot of defense, but that's okay. Morse had the one player, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Oh, yeah.
Superior.
Yep. Nice work. Superior Guerrer. Yeah, man, it's not surprising. 360-plus yards, 4 touchdowns. Holy cow. Yeah, he's one of those players. If you go to the stats for this team, it's like who's their rushing leader? It's this kid. Who's their receiving leader? It's this kid. You know, he does everything. So I knew that Grace needed to stop him, and they couldn't.
A couple notes here on some great performances for Grace. Riley Williams, their quarterback, over 300 yards throwing the football and 3 touchdowns. And the wingback, Landon Cooper, 4 touchdowns as well in the loss. All right, Woodbridge, which started the season 0-7, moves forward. They're out of Irvine, and they knock off City's San Fernando Tigers.
Yeah, you know, I don't know much about these teams. However, I will say that most of them, you know, when I see these lower-level teams, they're not in these finals often. So I just think it's really important to be appreciative, man. I don't know when Woodbridge or San Fernando will ever be back in a state final. So that's what I think of when I see these smaller programs.
But San Fernando does have a good history in the city section.
Yeah. When was the last time they won one?
It's been a few years. I think about
a million or two.
2016, 2017.
No, yeah. I think they won a lower level in like 2013, 2012, something like that.
Maybe. Who knows? They've won like 8 or 9 titles.
Now that's true. That's true.
South El Monte over Santee. Santee has the great running back Darnell Miller, but it didn't matter. 56-7, and that brings us to the point that Tarek brought up before so astutely, that the city section went 0 for the regionals.
Honestly, it kind of happens in hoops every year. It's just like, all right, you won your city championships, and then they go and they play someone from a southern section or San Diego section, and they lose.
0-4. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Time for point counterpoint. And here is our topic. Love the graphic. Which is the bigger story? Rio Hondo Prep with just 82 boys in the school going to a state final, dominating over the year, or Woodbridge getting to a state final in their division, starting 0-7. Tarek.
For me, I got to stick to my guns. That's the Rio Hondo Prep story. Only 80 boys. I think last year it was 71. They go from Division 9 to Division 7, now Division 5. They are this team of destiny. What a great story it is. Can you imagine if they win another CIF title next year? 3 in a row. This story is really, really big. Though somewhat more expected now because we've seen them win in the past, Rio Hondo Prep deserves the spotlight, and they got to a state final last year and fell short in overtime to Vanden. Everyone thinks that Sonora is going to beat them. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Rio Hondo Prep is going to take home the state title.
Rio Hondo Prep, great story. I agree. But starting 0-7, how about kudos to Connor McBride, the head football coach of the Wildcats of Woodbridge? That's unbelievable. I call them Wildcats. They're also warriors. They're warriors because they come through, they're down, they're kicked 0-7. In life, you don't want to quit, right? You want your kid, if he has some problems, to overcome them and become a better person. Well, here's the case where this football team struggled mightily. 0-7. After 0-1, you could have quit. 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, 6, 7. And somehow they get it together. McBride turns it around. They improve to 7-8, win a CIF Southern Section title and a regional title over San Fernando. Woodbridge, the story of the year that people don't talk about. And that's my point counterpoint. You're tearing up a little bit over that, right?
Oh, God. I should make a movie for it.
They might.
Honestly, it's so funny. I don't know the coach over at Woodbridge, but if you remember, I don't know if you know DeVaugh Thomas at St. Pius.
No.
But they went 1-9 and got into the playoffs and won a CIF championship. And if this coach is like, hey, you know, we perseverance and we coach up the boy, and that's great. DeVaugh Thomas was like competitive equity, like just complete opposite. It's just funny how each coach takes things on. But either way, you still gotta get your boys to play after a rough start. So kudos to that program.
Again, Connor McBride, the coach there, phenomenal job. All right, let's take a look at the state finals. These are some pretty interesting games. All right, De La Salle. Jaden Jefferson is the man at De La Salle. Great running back, multi-purpose individual, terrific player. De La Salle's come down here 7 times in recent years and lost after dominating the sport for many, many years. And in the 90s and early 2000s. And then there's Santa Margarita with the story of Carson Palmer, the best player in the CIF Southern section this year, Trent Mosley, unless it's Jack Cunningham at Ventura. And you think Santa Margarita is going to win, but De La Salle's got a shot.
There's no question De La Salle can win this game. In previous state championships at the open division level, it's always like, all right, well, by how much is Mater Dei or Bosco going to win this thing? So Santa Margarita is very, very good and has a defense probably the best in the country. However, they have holes. Their offense is, other than Trent Mosley, if you can slow down Trent Mosley, you have a chance to win that game. If you can slow down Trent Mosley and maybe score 20 points, you might have a chance to beat Santa Margarita, but scoring is very hard on that defense. I'm excited for the game. I hope it's not another Corona Centennial thing where we're expecting it to be more competitive and it's not.
Well, again, De La Salle runs the ball brilliantly. So if they can control the clock, get a lead, they'll have a shot. If they fall behind, they'll be in big trouble. All right, next game we want to talk about. I know these aren't LA teams, Folsom and Cathedral Catholic. On paper, though, you have this great quarterback matchup. Brady Palmer, we mentioned him earlier. He's going to Cal. And Ryder Lyons of Folsom, although he's banged up and may not play, he's on his way to BYU. So on paper, this is a classic shootout.
Yeah, I love, I really do like the game. I think it's got a powerhouse feel to it, but not at the highest level. I would say that right after that open game, you got to think of top-end programs with great players, and it's like these two fit that bill. So it's even got an element of this game, it's got an open division-esque feel to it. So I'm excited. That's another great matchup, man. Man, that's a great matchup. Friday night, 8 o'clock at Saddleback.
Yeah, those are two terrific games that we first showcased for you. Oxnard Pacifica going for the undefeated season against Central East of Fresno. And I will say this, Fresno football at the prep level, normally not quite as strong as SoCal. But again, it's one game, and obviously Central East is good. Pacifica, I think, has to be the favorite here.
They probably are, and I think you're going to see a lot of points in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of athletes, a lot of space out there, and it's going to be like, man, who can jump higher and run faster? I really do. But the team that's the most physical will win the game.
Pacifica is only the second team in Ventura County history to start 15-0. A few years ago, Camarillo did that, but this Pacifica team's got a great chance to win this state title. Rio Hondo Prep is up next. They're the underdog against Sonora, but those are two terrific programs, both unbeaten.
Everyone's counting out Rio Hondo Prep once again. I mean, it's like, it's mind-boggling to me. So they're right where they want to be. I wouldn't bet against them. I got the Cares.
Well, the Cares execute so well. And again, we haven't seen Sonoma. We're just getting these reports that they won multiple games last year, ended up winning double-digit games. They won multiple games by big scores. They did it again this year. So we don't know that much about them, and it's tough to compare because one's up north, one's down south. But what we've seen from RHP, the Cares, they execute.
Yeah,
and they're tough.
I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited. I'll be at Saddleback all day Saturday. The three games I'll be seeing are Rio Hondo Prep, Sonora, Pacifica, Central East, and then the open game.
Those are good games.
That's the trio of games Saturday at Saddleback.
That's a great triple, don't you think?
I'm really excited about it.
All right, Ventura. We got to talk about Ventura, the team I chatted
The Garcias.
The Garcias. St. Ignatius, only 8-6. You got to think the Cougars have a shot to do it.
I'm sure they do. I mean, they certainly do, but I'm sure they're going to be the heavy favorite. I'm kind of thinking the Cougars are going to win this game, and not just off the records, but I think at a certain point, yeah, Ventura is a quality team, and I think the South is going to take that one.
Does this mean now we're going to get that Ventura County story from Tarek Fatal? If
maybe.
These two teams win state titles?
That's a good angle. That could be like, hey, what? Like almost, you kind of get a sense that there is a shifting of power in the Trinity League, a shifting of power maybe now in Ventura. So it's good to see something different.
Beckman, they're different.
A shifting of power in Orange County.
The Patriots, are they going to be the next Mater Dei or St. John Bosco?
Yeah,
we're going overboard, we know that. Yeah. But we got a lot of friends from Beckman. They're on LA 36 yearly. They'll be on here again next year, a couple games. 12-3, El Cerrito is 12-2. Again, obviously, we're partial to the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't know much about El Cerrito, and frankly, I don't know much about Beckman other than their star running back, so they'll be leaning on him, and hopefully he can take him to the promised land.
Go Patriots. Of course, the Patriots doing pretty well in the NFL. Why not Patriots in high school football? Right?
Mike Vrabel.
He's not coaching this team, though. But this team's playing pretty well.
That's true. Well,
Woodbridge.
You got me.
Can Woodbridge do it? They're playing an undefeated team from Reading. Now, here's the kicker to me. Here's this beleaguered team earlier in the year that I did the diatribe on early. Now they get a crack at an unbeaten team in the state final. How much of a kicker would this be?
If they won?
If they knock off Reading Christian, get to 500 after starting 0-7, and beat undefeated Reading Christian.
Yeah, it'd be remarkable. Man, again, I don't know much about the teams. I think I'm going to go Reading Christian in that one. I just think that 14-0, that's a team of destiny right there. They're confident. They have to be.
Woodbridge. Probably not. But it would be a great story.
Yeah, it would. No, trust me, that's a better headline.
Woodbridge is a better headline.
Team starts 0-7, wins state title, yeah.
South El Monte's still around. So they have a shot, but they have to play Balboa of San Francisco. And Balboa is another one of those programs up north that just has athletes on top of athletes.
So I was talking to my colleague Mitch Stevens about Balboa. He said in their section final, I'm pretty sure this is the number, they had 35 penalties in the game and still won. And then in the regional final, they had 19 penalties and still won. So this is a team that's ultra talented and wins despite shooting itself in the foot.
So you're saying they're not very disciplined?
Not very disciplined.
That'll be an interesting game. But you know, you guys as a reporter, you got to go out and watch all these different games. That's just going to elongate the day if they have 15 or 20
I'm glad
penalties.
I'm not at that location.
Chris Henry's at a location. Chris Henry was the fine wide receiver, Chris Henry Jr. for modern day.
Nice.
Now, he was going to go to Ohio State. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
But Brian Hartline, who was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, took the job at South Florida as the head coach.
Okay.
So because of that, Chris Henry wasn't sure if he should stay with his commitment to Ohio State. He did. So give Henry credit. He thought about it. He kind of looked at some other schools and said, you know what? I'm going to Ohio State because the program is so great. So Henry's going to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was a big nothing burger. I'm sorry, okay.
I built that up for nothing?
Yeah, no, not from you, but just all the speculation over signing day. It's like he hasn't signed yet. It could be Oregon, could be USC, and then for him to just like, yeah, no, I'm sticking with Ohio State. I don't know. I felt like it was a lot of nothing.
By the way, Hartline leaves like 2 or 3 days before they played Indiana. The offense didn't do anything against Indiana.
Oh, fair point. Ooh,
so maybe the Buckeyes lost because of Brian Hartline leaving. Just saying.
Made him look good.
Well, South Florida's got a good head coach, apparently. Last ad.
I like LSU's new coach.
We're going to talk a little basketball as we say goodbye. Sierra Canyon, #1 in California.
Never heard of them.
They lose.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well,
they lost.
I tell you what, I do my Southern Section basketball rankings every Sunday, and I was debating on putting Bishop McNamara and Millennium of Arizona at the top because they beat the best teams. Bishop McNamara out of Maryland in D.C. beat Santa Margarita and Sierra Canyon, the #1 and #2 teams in the land. And then Millennium of Arizona beat a couple other solid teams here locally, including Notre Dame of Sherman Oaks. So, yeah, not great at the out-of-state games.
When we come back next week for our final show of the football season, what's going to be the headline? What's going to be the thing? What's going to happen?
Oh, wow. Really teeing me up here.
Oh, I threw you off with that.
No, you did. I think it's likely that we will be talking about Jason Crow Jr. of Inglewood breaking the scoring record in California history.
Basketball.
In basketball, yes.
Guy who averages 43 a game. The lefty from Inglewood who's on his way to Missouri.
Just had 51 last game. They lost. But that's going to be, look, man, he's great. He's a great scorer. He's fun to watch. He's very skilled. I just don't know how deep they'll go playoff-wise.
Tarek giving you the insight. Let's start next week's show with a little basketball. Then we'll give you all these.
He's going to break it. There's more. He's not just playing one game this week. So if he doesn't get it this week, he'll get it If he doesn't get it in the first game this week, he'll get it in the second.
He's got multiple games.
Yeah, yeah.
Get your paper ready. For Tarek Fatal, I'm Randy Rosenblum. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report. Goodbye, everybody.
Lead the edge.
Come on, just do it.
Okay.
You got this down by now. You do this every week.
Missed.
So you missed. Does it really matter?
Actually
Does
toss the
anybody,
football
you're busting up our set now?
Kidding.
You're going to break down our set with the football?